Manyelo, Mr. Noko Manyelo, Head of Communication at Department of Small Business Development, doing incredible work with entrepreneurs. He's been with us, he was also with us in Bloom. He's been with us since the morning. Incredible opportunities for entrepreneurs. Please listen to what he has to say. Let's welcome him onto stage. Energetic, very young, Mr. Noko Manyelo, Head of Communication at the Department of Small Business Development. Come on, kanyamazane simshayeleni izandla.
Thank you very much, Sbuda. I don't know how much time I've got, so I'm going to speak a little bit faster to try and cover as much as I can. All right. Firstly, I wanted to make a call to the pitchers, all the guys that pitched today, to say that in November, the Department of Small Business Development is going to host the Presidential MSME and Cooperatives Awards. The overall winner takes $1 million plus other support measures. So I'm saying, as we are going to be announcing the winner shortly, perhaps someone who might not have won today might actually win even the bigger prize. Okay, so that is the first thing I just wanted to share with you. And I think it's very important that when you get an opportunity to engage maybe with some of the government officials and you are granted an opportunity to ask questions, ask a question that is going to empower you as an individual or your business. Don't ask a question that is going to demonstrate to everyone else that you are a comrade or you are good at that or that. But so that when we respond, we are giving you a solution that you are going to be able to implement when we are gone. Do you understand? You follow? You are with me, ne? So I just felt that some of the questions that were asked were not empowering to the individual who was asking the question, because I did not get to hear what is their business, what do they do. So there is one question that caught my eye, and it's a very interesting question, was asked by a gentleman, was seated there. Yes, the gentleman who asked about the holding company. So I'm going to make sure that I stay within my time. So I still have 8 minutes. So in this 1 minute, I wanted to respond to the question in relation to the holding company. He asked a question about a holding company. And I just thought, let me add so that it is understood. So the main question is, why do you register a holding company? So it is primarily because you've got multiple subsidiaries. That is why you would register a holding company. You cannot start a company by registering a holding company. You follow? Now, a holding company, from what I understood, he wanted to understand its own potential. A holding company, it can actually do business other than managing the subsidiaries. It can sell assets. It can raise capital. Remember, it is also registered independently, autonomous from the subsidiaries. It's got its own registration number. Some of them, they even offer shares. So you as an investor, you can subscribe to the shares offered by the holding company. So technically, it means by subscribing to the shares offered by the holding company, you ultimately own a share inadvertently from the subsidiary. You follow? Especially with the angel investors, you know those people who have too much money and they don't know where to take the money? They actually do that. But it can also raise capital by listing on the JSE. The holding remember, a subsidiary might be smaller. It might not be having adequate capital for it to go to the market. But through the holding company, it can actually do that. So let me not dwell too much on that. I just thought I'll throw the spanner, but if the gentleman wants additional info, we can engage afterwards. So at least in my past life, I was one of the training managers for CIPC, so that's why I know about what I'm talking about. All right, so, yes, my name is Noko Manyelo. Sbuda has already introduced me, and I'm from the Department of Small Business Development, and today I am bringing you the good news. So I'm the bearer of the good news. So you can have your pens and your papers ready. Very important, and you'll understand why. So on the 1st of September, we introduced a very beautiful scheme. We call it the Business Infrastructure Support Program, BIS program. Anyone heard about it in this room? Yes, I see some hands. Great. Let me explain how it works. Yes, you might have read about it, but let me explain how that scheme works. Very critical, a revolutionary scheme, very pragmatic, and it is targeting people who are based in township and rural areas. You know that there is no infrastructure in most of our areas. Now, this scheme is modeled along what we used to call a shared economic infrastructure, wherein the infrastructure that we are building, that we are creating, it is primarily for common use. So when we say it's for common use, it means you are not necessarily operating in that space alone. Let me give a quick example so that you understand the common use. The common use, it could be that in the township, there is somebody who's doing the tires, there is somebody who's doing the exhaust systems, there is a mechanic, there is an electrician. All these people, they are working on the car, ne? But they are doing different things. If they come together, we can create an automotive hub for these people so that it becomes a one-stop shop. So when the car drives in, it can get all the services centrally located in that building. Now, with this structure, we are now offering a maximum of 23 million. Did you hear that? 23 million, which simply suggests almost everyone here, in terms of infrastructure, based on your own business plan, could be covered. Unless you want to build a mega hotel somewhere that is 50 million. But even that, you can utilize a core funding approach to get that. So if you do have a great idea, which is beyond that 23 million, there are also other options. It doesn't mean you are excluded. You follow, ne? So this is one example. It can apply to any sector. It doesn't have to be the automotive industry. And it doesn't have to be a new, it can be an existing project. It can be a new project. It can be something that is based on the, you know, in Pretoria, there is a place called Babelig towards the northwest. So there used to be old factories there, and they are no longer functional. But I know that a similar setup exists in almost all the different areas where you know that there is a dilapidated infrastructure. We can also refurbish that structure. All you have to do is to make sure that you get permission to utilize that structure. If it used to belong to the municipality, you just simply approach them and get the necessary permits. The good thing about an old building is that it was rezoned accordingly. It was properly rezoned as a business operating space. So you don't have to go through, as opposed to a new project. If you come up with a new project, when it comes to the compliance issues that they were raising here, remember, apart from the registration, it's also the permits, the licensing, the authority to utilize the space. And at times it takes a while to get the necessary documentation, especially from the local municipalities. So I'm just giving you an example to say, if you approach this maybe from an existing operation, it's easier because you already have all the due diligence done. So you just have to rehabilitate everything, just have to go to the municipality, they reprint everything for you and whatnot, and you've got the lease, you've got the permission and whatnot and all that. So this scheme, it doesn't end there. It also has other two critical components. One, the issue of the equipment. Not only are we going to do the building, we are going to equip that building to make sure that what the lady was saying here, maybe they are in the sewing business, but you need those industrial machines, the big ones. My sister here spoke about, from SETFA, she spoke about a program called Asset Assist. That's where we give you equipment up to a maximum of 250,000. But now with this one, we give you up to a maximum of 5 million. You get it? Not 250,000, 5 million. So if we go back to that example of an automotive hub, you can easily buy, those hydraulics. You can buy, with 5 million, you can buy all the equipment that you can think of. More like about the Tiger wheel and tires, how they are structured and all that. When you get in there, you want to wheel alignment for your Mercedes-Benz there, they put it on a machine, and then that machine takes it up and whatnot, and then they take the tires, then there is a machine that all. So there are different machines, multiple machines, just to get your car sorted. So you can get the best of the best up to a maximum of 5 million. But the catch is that in both the infrastructure and the equipment is from 1 million to 23 million. 1 million to 5 million. So what we are trying to say, we are separating the micro enterprises and people who are serious. So that's why I said take out your pen, because it means here we are engaging with people who are very serious about their business. So if you are still a micro and you need a 10,000 machine, or you need a 20 or a 30,000, so you are a candidate for that asset assist. You are not yet ready to go to this category. You follow, ne? So it doesn't end there. We also have, there was a gentleman, one of the guys who pitched here. I remember the name is D Smart, or Smart D. Smart D. He said one of his problems, it's a charging station. Now listen to this. I have a solution for you. If I'm not sure where he is, but if he's, I'm sure he's still here, because probably he's waiting to hear if he won or not. So there is no way that he's going to leave. So the last leg of this business infrastructure support program, it's what we call energy support solution. We had identified that in this country we have a challenge of energy, or our energy is not consistent. So, and it affects business operations. Now, guess what? Here, we're talking about alternative energy source, ne? So when we talk about alternative energy sources, we are saying it's all the energy mix apart from electricity, ne? So if the lady who is in agriculture is going to utilize biomass to produce energy, we can support her. There is a solution for you. If the gentleman who needs a charging station is going to utilize an inverter, the solar system, and all that, we are going to support him. And he might decide, no, let me get the biggest generator that I'm going to use for this business, as long as it is all the other alternative energy source apart from electricity. And this is from 1 million to 10 million. You heard that? 10 million. I'm sure that the gentleman with the charging solution, if you have designs or you have quotations of that the charging solution, you can immediately apply. Because, of course, we need to understand what it is when you say a charging station. How is it going to operate? How effective it is? And how many of these motorcycles are you going to be charging on daily basis and whatnot? And by the way, you can apply for multiple schemes at the same time for different things. So what is key is that when you apply for more than one program, it cannot be for the same things. So your solutions are not necessarily in one basket. And I think that as entrepreneurs, we must also know that I don't have to wait for the Department of Small Business Development to assist me. It could be from NEF, I'm going to get this portion for the support of this element. From NYDA, I'm going to get this support for this portion. And then from the Department of Small Business Development, I'm going to get support for that portion. So Noko spoke about the support that she got, that SETFA assisted with the compilation of that business plan. So I'm saying to you that here is an opportunity. The question that Sbu asked is, are you ready to meet this opportunity? Unfortunately, this scheme is closing on the 19th of September, which is next week, Friday. You can't say you are late. You must be ready for the opportunity. If you're an entrepreneur, you have technically 5 working days. On Monday, no, not on Monday. Tonight, you are not going to sleep. You are going to go to our website, www.dsbd.gov.za. You are going to peruse this, and you are going to prepare the paperwork. You know, I have a very big challenge when it comes to being ready for these opportunities. There are certain people, when you engage with them and you explain how the program works, all they do, they take out their phone, they call the secretary, hey, please prepare this, and please change page 7, tweak it, align it, and then send it to Noko on Monday, or tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. This is a person who's ready. Then there is this other one that I'm going to explain the same opportunity, who's going to say, so I must go and visit someone to do a business plan for me. That might take a week, that might take 2 weeks. And I must go and get the permit from the municipality. Oh, I must also go to SARS to get the tax clearance certificate. So all I'm saying is they are never ready. They only prepare to meet the deadline. You follow? So in other words, we are not running our businesses diligently as entrepreneurs. Only when we hear that there is something, and then we rush, and then we say, okay, let me check, what are the requirements? What is required? For instance, with this scheme, we require you to have your financials, 3-year financials, or your management accounts. It doesn't have to be an audited financial statement. It can be even evidence or proof that is going to convince us that you are not taking a chance. Remember, when you start talking the millions, and oh, by the way, did I tell you that this money is grant? Yes. The money that you are not paying back. Now imagine if you're going to get, let's say not the maximum, let's say you get 10, 15, 18 million, and you're not paying it back. Everybody's going to raise her hand here or his hand to say, I also want it. So that is why we insist on identifying the real entrepreneurs. People who are doing business when there is no support, when there is no one watching, people who are saying, it is my business. They've invested their own monies in their own operations. I know that this information is key and is important. Even if, wherever you are seated, if you realize that you don't qualify, don't hold it and keep it to yourself. Tell that person, that somebody else that you know that this one qualifies for this. That scheme that was spoken about today, I know someone. Share with them. Let's not have jealousy, you know. Information is free. Let's pass it on. All right. While we are on the same question, quickly as I wrap up, we have a very nice scheme, which is the manufacturing support scheme. And because, I'm saying this because there was also a lady here who's doing the detergents. So through our blended finance, and the reason why we are opting for blended, we are saying it's a mixture of a grant and a loan. Again, we are trying to deter only those who are only interested in the grant. Back in the days, yes, we used to offer only grants. So we are saying a portion, you don't have to pay it back. The grant element is kept at 100,000. But we can, okay, for the manufacturing scheme, let me quickly talk about the manufacturing scheme. For the manufacturing scheme, we offer you a maximum of 15 million. Any manufacturer here, if you are a manufacturer, start thinking, 15 million. And the grant portion is 20% of the 15 million. which is 3 million grant. 20% of the 15 million. That is the grant, 3 million. I think if we can have the courage to utilize the information that we get in these sessions, definitely our lives are not going to be the same. I would not be happy if you clap hands to say, oh, you spoke so well, and you do nothing about that information that you got. I'm going to be excited when you say my application was rejected, because when you call me, I'm going to tell you what you need to rectify for it to be fully compliant. Sometimes it's just a piece of paper that you missed that could have made you to comply. I'm not sure if Sbu is standing to say your time is up, but if so, thank you very much.